What's up? It's Hugz, and I'm back with another reaction video. This time I'm getting into TierZoo. I've actually never checked this out. This one is Crocodilians or Crocodilians OP. My friend Shiku asked me to react to this channel a while ago. Never got around to it. I see they have like tier lists. It's called TierZoo, and I guess they rate animals. This one is like, is it OP? But I've also seen they had tier lists for other animals, so I'm stoked to check it out, see what it's about. Well, let's go ahead, jump into it.
Was made in partnership with
Also, don't know what a crocodilian is. Not quite sure. Assuming like a crocodile. Already heavily invested in the series. Okay. Did he knock himself out?
There are several factors you can look at to determine where a build belongs on the tier list. Do they have any uniquely overpowered abilities? Are they responsible for major declines in the player bases of other factions? Do they have good matchups against other top tiers? These are all important, but another good indicator is how long a build's core strategies and stats have stood the test of time. If a build has managed to succeed across multiple balance patches and new game expansions, that's a great indication that it dominates a highly stable niche in the meta. For example, dragonflies have been one of the top builds patrolling the airspace above swamps and lakes since the Carboniferous expansion.
Dude, I love this series already. Like, I'm already super invested in this.
Were even added to the game. And while not quite as old as either of these factions, crocodilians
I immediately
also
need
had
to
a
see all
dominant
these.
hold on the same niche since even before the dinosaurs, having survived several of the harshest updates the game has ever seen. Despite this, I don't think any players are all that surprised at the crocodilians' extensive
I love that this is
domination
based off like
record.
video
This is a
game
build which
statistics.
combines
Like, this
downright
is so
impressive
dope.
stats with arguably the most effective strategy in the game, resource camping. So today I'm going to break down all of the important
Filthy
features of the
campers.
crocodilian build and the strategies that they use to win games. Every build has its strengths and weaknesses.
Like ripping this
so my goal
antelope's
with this
armor.
video is that it'll be useful as a guide for croc players trying to optimize their gameplay, but also for other players that need help countering the crocodilians' infamous strategies.
Straight
This
up.
video is meant to apply to both crocodiles and
Okay,
alligators,
so that's what
because
it's
even though there
everybody
are a
in
few
that
subtle
family.
differences
Okay.
between the builds, overall their game plan is very similar. Alright, so first, the croc's biggest strengths. First and foremost is their bite attack. The croc's bite is the strongest in the game, able to one-shot most low to mid HP targets, and deal
Dude,
serious
I'm like,
damage
I
even
know
to
I'm
the
like
bulkiest
nerding
players.
out over the fact that he refers
One
everything in
important thing
game
to note
terms,
is
but
that
I
this
love
bite
it.
deals crush type damage, making it one of the few attacks in the game powerful enough to overwhelm
Oh,
most defenses.
shit.
Even the high-level armor seen in builds like the turtle and armadillo aren't enough to stop it. But as powerful and damaging as the croc's bite is, crocodilian players actually aren't optimized for direct
It shows
damage.
it all ripped
In fact,
off.
most tank builds can recover from a single bite without much consequence.
Okay.
The crocodilian's strategy revolves around being able to bring down large targets.
Oh,
usually
damn, I
ones
didn't
that
even
have
realize
high
he
enough
caught him in
base
the damn
HP to survive
head.
several powerful attacks. That's why, despite having the strongest bite force in the game, in terms of pure DPS,
God dang.
a croc's bite is surpassed by sharks due to their serrated blade-like teeth. While a croc definitely could spec into this
This
type
is
of tooth,
vicious.
for the relevant matchups, the crocodile's curved conical teeth are more useful. These teeth make the crocodile's grapple much more difficult to break out of, and this is where the crocodile's ability to take down tank
This is
builds
like
really
straight up
shines
got
through.
me
As
messed
the
up, dog.
infamous
Like, this
grapple
is what.
combo, the death roll,
This is
one of the most
way
powerful
worse
attacks
than
in the
I
game
thought it was
and can
gonna
clear
be.
through the HP
What
of
the
even the bulkiest
hell?
players. Let's continue with the croc's other strong points. The most important ones are going to be the two abilities they use to maximize their effectiveness in the water, for both stealth and mobility. First, their rudder-like tail grants them a massive speed boost while swimming. This is what shifts many a matchup in their favor when in combat in the water, as most of the croc's potential
Oh my
targets
God,
easily
no.
outmaneuver it on land. And second, their nostrils and eyes being situated on top of their heads grants them a unique
That's creepy
ability
as shit.
to remain almost completely hidden underwater while
Stealth.
still remaining vigilant of
Stealth
their
is
above-water
important.
surroundings. And allows
Understandable.
them to keep their stamina topped up by not forcing them to hold their breath. Alright, now let's get into the croc's weaknesses, and then discuss optimal strategies and counterplay. The
Counterplay.
croc's biggest weakness is its reliance on water. This isn't that big a weakness, as just about every player needs to visit a watering hole at some point. If your party
Is he about-
migrates,
I was gonna
you
say,
will
is he
most
about to
likely
eat
need
this
cross a
zebra,
river at
like-
some point in order to find more food. But even if you play as a non-migratory build, you'll likely still need to top up your thirst meter every so often to avoid serious stat debuffs. Still, it is
Didn't
a
even really
potential
see that one that
vulnerability.
bad. I was
If the
waiting for
water
him to
in
just
your
rip
preferred
in it.
server
When
begins
you
to
could
dry
see
up,
him like
and it
bleeding
finds that it
before that,
becomes
had me
more and more
messed up.
frequent in the Anthropocene meta, This can greatly increase the difficulty of your gameplay by removing your stealth and mobility bonuses. Crocodiles don't respawn in the water, and instead must build and protect their nests on shore. Objective defense is always a tough portion
What
of
the
any player's
shit?
questline, but doing so in a vulnerable state is even more difficult. Another big weakness is their reliance on the death roll combo to score kills. Even though it's a guaranteed kill if the full combo finishes, executing the entire move requires uninterrupted focus on a single target for a significant period of time. As with most grappler builds, this leaves the user quite vulnerable to attacks from your target's party members. So how can Crocodile players best mitigate this weakness?
Oh shit.
And how can other players best exploit it?
That hippo was like, not today,
Crocodile
bro.
Players, the number one thing you need to prioritize during an attack is dragging your target into deeper water. This accomplishes three things. 1, it separates the target from their party. 2, it puts them into a position where their mobility is reduced because of the negative terrain modifier from water.
Negative
3,
terrain.
it inflicts the drowning status effect.
I absolutely love this. I love that it's based off of gaming stuff.
Of course, this
I feel like I'm watching like a WoW tutorial or something. Oh shit! Oh shit! He grabbed him by the damn nose, bro. He did. He grabbed him by the trunk.
By attacking alongside other crocodilian mains, as they can help you drag away your target quicker and reduce their chances of escape even further. Of course, this means you'll be splitting the loot, but it's worth it.
I feel like I'm watching the greatest like Discovery Channel documentary. Is he got him by the cheek?
Strong enough to resist being pulled into the water. If you're the one doing the pulling, the croc player isn't going to continue their attack for long. But if that's not an option, there are still a few tactics you can try to make your odds more favorable. The first is avoiding deep water. If you need to cross a river or find a spot to drink, you'll be safest if the croc would need to drag you a great distance to get you somewhere you couldn't stand. Plus, it's a lot more difficult for a croc to hide in shallow water, so you'll be less vulnerable to surprise attacks.
Bro, you ain't slick, I see you.
If you're a player with the ability to fly or to climb, you might assume this advice doesn't
apply. I'm just waiting.
Stay out of reach of a croc attack. However, one thing to keep in mind is that the croc's rudder tail ability has the secondary effect of granting it a greatly increased attack range while in deep water, as it can launch itself a considerable distance.
I didn't know alligators could fly, dog.
This is a relatively slow and highly committal option, though. So my advice to flying players is that if you need to approach the surface of the water, keep moving, as striking a moving target would require a pretty insane read on the part of the croc player.
This is crazy.
It's not impossible.
This is absolutely insanity.
Next, I recommend staying with a tight-knit party that's willing to fight alongside you. As mentioned
I can
before,
see
the
that.
croc's death roll combo is vulnerable to being interrupted.
Yeah.
So if your teammate is being attacked, you may be able to save them.
Dude, elephants getting hit by the or whatever it is, the trunk, messes me up, dog.
So you're
Bro, you're on your own.
But still, crocs really can't do much other than flee to deep water if they're being attacked from multiple directions.
Oh, dang.
So coordinated attacks are paramount. This advice also translates for any player trying to loot crocodile nests.
Loot crocodile.
This is easy, but since the croc's nest will be on land, the lack of their mobility bonus will make the croc less capable of catching you. The best strategy is to
gotta get him with the debuff, bro.
Luring the croc out into the heat. Eventually, this will daze the crocodile, allowing you to loot their nest uncontested. If you're a croc,
it's kind of sad as hell, dog.
There are ways to better protect your nest. Making sure there is a patch of shade close to the nest is important to avoid being dazed from the heat exhaustion status effect. Another surprisingly powerful and
strategize your location.
Strategy is to ally with bird players who also nest in the sand. They can protect your eggs from being looted by the more nimble players, while you can protect their buried eggs from being stomped on by the larger players. Now, one piece of advice I see tossed around is the idea to spec into abilities that would make a crocodile less reliant on water. Things like longer legs, replacing claws with hooves,
That's
and so on.
creepy as shit,
These
dog.
ideas have actually been tried in the past, and have never really caught on. I get a lot of tags on Twitter asking to mention how overpowered the
That's so
crocodile
creepy,
builds
dog.
were.
That's so
However,
creepy,
I think
dog.
history shows the opposite. The two main times terrestrial croc builds have surfaced have been during the most chaotic, underdeveloped metas. First, during the Triassic, aka the expansion that followed the most heavy-handed series of nerfs and bans the game had ever seen. And the Paleogene, the expansion that followed the mass ban that removed dinosaurs and pterosaurs from the game. Both of these instances were at a time where
The
previous
mass
top-tier
ban.
Predator build had been banned, and every faction was taking a shot at trying to control that niche. In the Triassic, builds like Postasuchus were great at terrorizing the Synapsid player base.
This is
The
so
top-tier
good.
Synapsid, Lystrosaurus, was dominating the meta, so having a good matchup against them meant a free top-tier spot. However,
I
these
need to see
terrestrial
what all other
crocodilians
animals and
quickly
stuff they
lost
have
their
tier
top
lists for,
status
because this is
as the more
freaking
mobile
hilarious.
dinosaurs started competing. And in the Paleogene, almost the exact same thing happened. Galloping crocodilians dominated the early meta, but once the mammal player base started competing for the top tier predator spot, once again the croc player base couldn't keep up and was forced back into their traditional aquatic ambush role. So yeah, sorry Cheetah Gator fans, you can try again after the next major balance patch. But for now, there's no shame in sticking to the tried and true game plan crocs have perfected.
I love how they just kind of like tagged each other like that was it.
They're undoubtedly a top tier predator, and I can't see their placement on the tier list changing anytime soon. Hopefully this video did a good enough job covering the crocodilians' optimal strategy and counterplay. Much of the footage featured in this video is from a documentary called Caring Killers, a film which explores the Nile crocodile build's hunting prowess, but also focuses on showing off the dedication and intelligence demanded from crocodile mains as they guard their respawn points and help new croc
Dude,
players
it's the
discover.
terminology for me. Like, that's what it is. It's
Impressively interesting
100% the
documentary,
terminology.
and goes into a lot more depth than I'm able to do in a single YouTube video. If you're interested in watching it, you can gain access to
this is dope. I love this. I love this series. Shout out to my dude Shiku, who hit me up to check out TierZoo in general. I'm very interested to see what else they have. I'm gonna go check their channel real quick. Like, what else kind of stuff do they have? Optimizing the snake build, the cat tier list. What the hell, dude? This is dope. The bird tier list a week ago. All right, I gotta check this out. There's so many of these. Let me know which ones are your favorite. Have you already been watching these series? What do you think? Are crocodilians OP or alligators and crocodiles OP? I think the best the best animals that had a chance seem to be the pack animals. But this is crazy. This is insane to me. I'm overwhelmed by what all I've just witnessed. The vicious nature of the animals. Like, you're watching this documentary. I assumed it was just going to be like this really funny thing. I didn't actually think we'd see, like, I guess if we're talking about our crocodiles OP, like, I should have expected attacks, but I did not expect it to be as vicious as it was. Like, god dang. Intense. All right. Well, like, if you did, some of you don't already, thank you for watching. Comment what you want to see me react to in the future. Maybe I'll get to it. Especially TierZoo. I want to check out some more stuff from TierZoo. Love you guys.